So Falcon and the Winter Soldier is finally over. Finally, dang, it feels weird to say that because just a few weeks ago we were talking about WandaVision. So, like WandaVision, I'm bringing you guys today my series review for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It'll be structured just like the WandaVision one we did a few weeks ago, back when WandaVision ended. So let's just get right into the good. Now, there's a lot of good in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm sure you guys all know if you guys have been following along the show. But the first great, good thing that first stands out that comes to me when I think back of Falcon and the Winter Soldier is the characters. These characters just have so much chemistry together. Mainly Falcon and Bucky, Sam and Bucky, Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan. They just have so much chemistry, like on screen and off screen. And then it's so good to actually see these characters moving post blip, because I'm pretty sure that's at least for me, that's what I've really wanted to see the most from the MCU kind of period, in the blip and then post blip. Like, half the people, half of all life on Earth disappeared, and they really haven't really explored a lot of that, and that's really what I want them to. But this Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it actually does explore that with these characters. You see the difference, how Sam, he disappeared. He wasn't there for the 5 years, so he's still holding on to hope. You see his sister, who was there for the 5 years, and you can see how she had to suffer through there, being a single mother, especially being a black single mother. Then you have characters such as Zemo. Zemo is really good in the show. Looking back, he's really not in it all that much, but those tiny moments that he is there are really good. My personal favorite character of the season is John Walker, Captain America. Well, now he's U.S. agent, so well, you guys have all seen the finale by now, and if not, you probably shouldn't be watching this video. John Walker was the most interesting character. I had that video, which you guys can go check out in the description. John Walker, he's really the idea of America today, where he's not like Cap back in the day, where he can just go overseas, fight Nazis, and everyone considers him a hero. John Walker is like the flawed hero, and I like how Marvel explores that. A lot of people hate him for some reason. I don't, as you guys can tell in my video, but I think he's really good characters. And then you have all supporting characters like Carly, Batroc, Sam's sister, like I said, Sharon. All the characters in this show are really what kept me coming back each episode. It wasn't like WandaVision where there was a mystery you were trying to unravel. It was the characters that kept me coming back to the show, and I think the characters are done so good in this show. The next good thing that I want to talk about is how this show handles political issues today. Like, this show, just the whole concept of it, with a black man trying to take up the mantle of Captain America, it's just a political concept, and a lot of people hate the show for that, but that's what Captain America, the idea of Captain America, is a political idea. And they really touch on racism and stuff like that in the way that MCU has really never done before, even in stuff like Black Panther. The whole story with Isaiah Bradley is just tragic. And it's even more tragic when you realize black people were actually treated this way in the past, and sometimes still to this day. Their history was erased, experimented on. Not really the experimentation part nowadays, but you get the point. Isaiah Bradley, and you can see how there's two sides of America for the black people. You have Isaiah's people, who's just old and bitter. Then you have Sam, who's more hopeful and looking to change the world instead of hate it. And I really like that dynamic between the two. And even just the way the show shows subtle racism and stuff like immigration. Like, if you think, if someone disappeared from their house 5 years ago, and someone moved into that house, but then that person 5 years ago reappears, it really is kind of hard to determine who gets thrown out to the street, who gets to keep the house. And you can just see in the show that these people just want a mass exodus, round up all the I forgot what they call it, displaced people, displaced persons, I'm pretty sure what they refer to in the show. They just want to round them back up and send them back to their country, which is pretty similar to somehow some people view the modern world today. So I think this show is really good at talking about political themes without shoving it in your face and making this blah blah blah, this political stance. No, they actually show you how it is like in the real world and base it off real world topics. This show is just really good at almost all fronts that it does. and the characters and their stories to subtle hints of racism and political themes. This show really does a good job of handling all that. Even their villains, for the most part, you can understand their cause. You may not agree with their reason, but they actually, like, their idea is not the villain. Their actions and how they want to acquire that goal and how they pursue it is what makes them the bad people. There's a lot of wondering, like, who's really the bad guy in this situation? And if a show can make you wonder who's the bad guy, in a good way, not kind of like, wait, who's the bad guy? I don't understand what's going on. But just like, this person's, they have a good cause, but are they doing the right thing to acquire that cause? That's the kind of, like, who's the bad guy good thing that I'm talking about. Even the action in the show, while it is sparse, it feels grounded and real. A lot of one-shot action takes, which is really good because Marvel, their most fights are quick cut, choppy, shaky cam. There's not a lot of shaky cam in this, and it really gives the show a unique identity for having these two characters that were completely different fighting styles. You have Sam, who's in the air, and then you have Bucky, who's on the ground. It's really good how they incorporate the scenarios to fit each character and how they're fighting. I think the show is just really good on almost all fronts, and the characters are good, the story is good, I love the story, the action is great. There's not a lot of bad that I want to talk about, but there is a little bit, so let's just get right into that. Now, when I think of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, bad isn't a word that I really come across, but reviewing these episodes again for this video, and for a ranking of the episodes that will be coming out at a later time, I can narrow it down to 3 things that I disliked about the show, and not even like heavily disliked, just kind of, it's not really disliked, it's just things that could have done or just would have made the show better. The first being more episodes. This show only has 6 episodes, although granted they are very long episodes and it's meant to be watched back to back, kind of like a full movie. I think this show could have done with like 1 or 2 more episodes. It doesn't need 1 or 2 more episodes. The show concluded itself very nicely and left off a lot of stuff that can be, a lot of threads that can be pulled on in later projects. I just think we could have used maybe 1 more episode of the gang moving around with Zemo, 1 more episode in the final act, an episode dedicated to Carly, an episode dedicated to John Walker. Just more time. WandaVision got 9 episodes. I honestly personally think WandaVision could have, like, maybe not had 9. It's gonna sound like hate, but I'm not hating. Maybe just like 8 or 7. But if WandaVision gets 9, I really think Falcon and the Winter Soldier would have benefited from those 9 episodes instead of WandaVision. So, but it didn't need, like I said, it didn't need 6 episodes. It didn't need more episodes, but it could have used more episodes to just kind of give you more to eat on, Just feed you well of this show. The second thing that I think is kind of iffy in the show was the reveal of Sharon being the power broker. Now, I'm not upset that Sharon is the power broker. I'm not mad that my theories about the power broker didn't come true. I just find it weird for Sharon to be the power broker, considering the stuff that was said in the show. I understand, in the continuity, I understand why Sharon would be the power broker. I mean, her country just abandoned her. She didn't have the Avengers to back her up and get her pardoned. But just how the fact that Zemo says he knew the power broker, referring to him as a he before his imprisonment in Civil War, which doesn't make sense because how could Sharon be the power broker before Civil War if she was still working for S.H.I.E.L.D.? So that kind of doesn't make sense. And I just feel like Sharon was the most obvious choice. So it was kind of just, like, Sharon, I didn't really count her as being an option for the power broker because I was like, well, that's too obvious. Why would they make her the power broker? That's, like, obvious. There's no mystery behind that. But they did make her the power broker. So I think just in future projects, they just need to elaborate more on the power broker, Sharon. It's just kind of an iffy thing. It doesn't make the show bad. It's just kind of weird and iffy, like I said. And the final thing that I really think is bad about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, came in and using the word bad lightly, is Carly. Not really Carly herself, but her actions. Throughout the show, in the early episodes of the show, they want you to feel sympathetic for Carly. They want you to see her as this revolutionary, this leader of the people who are being hurt all over the world, a person that people want to look up to. And then she just does things that make you just have to hate her as the bad guy. She blows up a building of people in it, and then they want to act like the victims when Nico gets killed by John Walker. You don't get to do that, they want to call themselves a good cause, but then gas a building full of senators, take them hostage, and or light them on fire and try to kill them. I feel like they could have done better with the idea of the Flag Smashers being more of a noble group, like trying to do the right thing, but being suppressed by the government. Instead, you have Carly, who keeps, whenever we see her, she's talking about how, oh, our people are so oppressed, we're getting kicked out of our homes. We're the victims. And then she goes ahead, blows up a building full of people, gasses a building full of people, lights a van on fire full of people on fire. So I think they could have done a better job of making Carly more of a gray villain in the show. You feel me? Like, they didn't have to make her blow up a building full of people, because then you can't root for someone who blows up a building full of people. So I think they could have done better on that front. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it was a pleasant surprise. Now, that may sound weird considering if you go back, this was one of my #1 shows that I was excited for. But as you guys all know, or if you do not know, I was really let down by WandaVision and the series as a whole, the finale. Just mainly, I was let down, and it kind of made me worry for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because I was like, WandaVision started off pretty good, but then fell off in the end, so am I going to suffer the same for Falcon and the Winter Soldier? But really, the very first 2 episodes of Falcon and the Soldier really roped me in. This was a great show. I'm sad that it's over, but I'm glad that I got to experience it episode by episode. But it just kind of sucks because, this was really good, and it's going to be a while till we get some MCU or stuff continuing on the threads that were open in this show. It was a really great show, and it was just really good on most of all fronts. There's really not a single horrible thing that I can say about this show. And that's rare for a lot of movies and shows. Usually there's always something glaringly bad or glaringly off about shows. But this one really did not have it. The stuff I listed in my bad were really minuscule things that didn't really offset the whole balance of the show. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, a lot of people are downing it or quote-unquote boycotting it because it's too political. But that's dumb. Captain America as an idea is a political character. Even the Winter Soldier's character assassinates government officials. He was literally working for the Nazis in one point. But I think when people say that, they just really don't want to see a black man becoming Captain America. But that's just me. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was a great hit for Disney Plus. Really good show, and while I may not like WandaVision, it was a success in the major scope of things. So Marvel's really 2 for 2 on these Disney shows. For me, it's 1 out of 2 because I don't really like WandaVision that much. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier, objectively, for Marvel, is a 2 out of 2. And my ranking of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, honestly, it's a series. I'm a fan. What's the word? I'm biased. I'm biased for the show, so my ranking of Falcon and the Winter Soldier is, honestly, it's a 10 out of 10 and an S. Every episode of this show was great. I think the weakest one was not even the weakest one. It was episode 1, just because the other episodes have so much content and greatness in it. Now, you guys might call me a fanboy or say I'm overbloating the show. But hey, this is personally just how I feel, so I think the show's a 10 out of 10 and an S. If you have not seen this show, what are you doing? This is a great show. It's setting up another Captain America movie. If you guys did not hear, Captain America 4 with Anthony Mackie returning as now Captain America. This is a really great show that I think if people who have not seen it, they really need to experience. This is one of those things in the MCU that is really special, and it's a really good win for Disney+. Alright guys, that was my series review of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Don't worry, I am uploading this before episode 6 review comes out. But don't worry, that's just so I can get my episode 6 review with Sterling, just more in depth. I will be doing more videos, hopefully more videos on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but one more that I do want to get out is a ranking of all the episodes. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, what you thought of the characters, the story, the action, just anything. Let me know. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Anything, but make sure to leave a like if you did like this video, and do help by subscribing. That would really mean the world to me. But I'll see you guys with the next video. Peace.